You're watching TVC Breakfast. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria says the poultry subsector is the most commercialized of Nigeria's agricultural subsectors, with a current net worth of 1.6 trillion naira.
The CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, says the subsector contributes about 25% of agricultural GDP to the Nigerian economy. He explained that the demand for chicken is about 200 million metric tons, while demand for eggs is about 790,000 metric tons, leaving a huge demand gap, which is met through smuggling. Mr. Emefiele said more than 1.2 million metric tons of the poultry meat is smuggled into Nigeria from Benin Republic.
These are several days.
Joining me is Wale Oyekoya, MD CEO, Bama Farms, and former chairman, Agric Group, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. Now, despite being about 1.6 trillion naira, we still have, and being the most commercialized sector in the agricultural sector, or most commercialized in the agricultural sector, we still have issues of smuggling, and there is a gap. How do you reconcile this?
Definitely there's a gap, as I said earlier on, that we have about 30% production, which is way below of what is expected of about 200 millions, because producing about 25 million eggs a day with the population of about 200 million is a very drop in the bucket.
So how is it that we haven't created that value chain that would have perhaps bridged the gap that we are seeing?
I think we have a whole lot of saboteurs in the system, because there's no point spending billions of dollars importing some of these powder eggs, something that we could be producing in Nigeria. All what we have to do is to give an enabling environment and to really empower the farmers to produce more. And that is why most of these multinationals are really coming in to cushion the effect. But at the same time, I don't want it to look like a threat, but there should be a level playing ground that both the indigenous and the multinationals are playing on the same part, not giving waivers to the multinationals, while the indigenous, which is the local farmers, are really scavenging with the expensive.
So what would it take
materials.
to check the activities of these saboteurs?
First of all, is to ban the importation of some of these things. But at the same time, I'm not saying total ban, but you must be able to give them rooms so that we could be able to increase on the production before you can ban. But to me, we are really losing a whole lot of employment to other countries while we are importing some of that stuff and exporting some of our own jobs. And if you look at the poultry sector, it's one of the key sector that is really producing a lot of GDP to the nations and employment also. And I challenge most of the states to really invest on some of these powder eggs. Ondo State is trying to do something. Ogun State is trying to do the same thing. If you can be really adding value to some of these eggs, we will not be having glut of what we are having now. Because there be some of the time we have glut, maybe during the school off season, when the students are not in school, we have a whole lot of glut.
But are the structures in place to encourage all of this that you are speaking about now, especially in states?
Yes, but it had not been really harnessed in the sense that most of this school feeding program is not all over the states. So if the federal government are really sincere and very serious, let them give the power to the state to be able to feed their own kids in the school. That way, a lot of people will go into the farming and there won't be no much of this glut. Then at the same time, banning some of this importation is going to really help in preserving some of our foreign reserves.
All right, now the central bank is saying it will be releasing about 36 billion naira to poultry farmers, and is also looking at other strategies like the poultry producers, unlocking potentials of poultry producers through the university-based poultry revival program. How will this boost poultry production and the poultry business in Nigeria, and also check activities of smugglers?
We're not just giving money to the farmers. What really needed is enabling environment and providing better infrastructures, which like the transportation and security of farmers. Because there's no point producing and at the same time you cannot bring them to the markets for sales. But by and large, if all this money could be injected to the right farmers to produce some of this, that is huge. That could even produce in most of the 10 states and give them infrastructure to produce some of these powder eggs that we are talking about. Because if you look at this, some of these big companies like the Nestle, Cadbury, they do import some of these powder eggs to make some of Milo, all kind of even they can even be used to be added into the flours. That way we'll be able to know where some of these things are going. But there need to be a lot of encouragement, and that is why I'm saying that the main problem of what we're having is materials. And like the maize, soya, bean, these are the major things that we use for the poultry.
But what collaborations are on ground? Because we also have farmers, local farmers as well. What collaborations are on ground between poultry farmers and those who are into farming of maize and all of this? Are there collaborations?
There's collaboration, but there's not enough of some of this, maybe because of the climate change we keep on having and because of the clashes between the herdsmen and the farmers. So a lot of farmers are really living and doesn't force to leave their farm because of the threat of the herdsman and the Boko Harams. Look at what is really happening in the northeast now. Most of the farmers have been displaced, especially in the Benin, which happened to be the food basket of the nation. So what are we really doing about this to really curb some of these melees? Because nobody want to risk his life because you wanted to produce maize or want to produce soya. So the government, especially the federal government, really need to do something to curb some of these measures of security of some of these herdsmen. And at the same time, by and large, if this thing is really being harnessed, we have a whole lot in our sleep to really give to the kids, because protein, this is the only cheapest way we can get protein from the eggs and from the chicken that we bring to this country. So to me, I think the government are in the right track if all those 36 billion could be really channeled into the poultry productions.
All right, Wale Oyekoya, CEO of Bama Farms, thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast.